Hello, hello, hello out there in social media land. It's another phenomenal evening here on Uncensored Conversation with Elevated Not Tolerated. I'm your girl. I'm back in the house. I'm back in the driver's seat. And tonight we have two of the most phenomenal women that I have met. And I met these beautiful, gorgeous ladies in 22. And I'm telling you, you are in for a treat. So you might as well go out there and tell somebody to get on YouTube, get on Facebook, get on LinkedIn, get on Instagram, and watch this phenomenal show. I got the beautiful Boltz ladies with me. They are fired up to tell you all there is about Miss Biz. And so I am super excited. So let me put my disclaimer out there. Girls, I got to put my disclaimer out there. Look, these ladies are phenomenal business women, and they're going to come and share with us some amazing tools and conversation. And we're going to talk about how they got started into the business. If you want to reach out to them, we're going to be shooting up their information so that you'll be able to reach out to them. Remember, when you're coming on Uncensored Conversation with Victoria, that we do not share prices. So do not ask my lady friends here to give you prices on their services or what they do. That means you got to have a consultation because, baby, you already know every conversation leads to a consultation. So tonight I have Brook and Rachel Boltz with me. They are the phenomenal duo that you have been hearing me talk about some here on the show. And I want to introduce them to you tonight. I've been holding them back. Hey, Miss Carrie, thanks for joining. I've been trying to hold them and not tell you where you can find them. But guess what? It's 2024 and I got to give them up. I got to let other people experience their amazing capabilities, their amazing abilities. So, girls, welcome to Uncensored.
Yay! Thank you so much for having us here. We're so excited.
I am so happy. I mean, you know, I did say that I was going to be nice and bring y'all on, and so I did. But usually I go through reading people's bios and I tell a little bit about, and then but I decided in 23, the best way for anybody to know who you are is for you to introduce yourself. Guys, if you've been watching the bio information that we've been putting out there, we told you a little bit, but here they are in person. So I want them to introduce themselves tonight. You can tell the people a little bit about you and then we'll get into the conversation. How about that, girls?
Sounds perfect.
All right. Whoever wants to go first.
I can go. Sorry. I am Brook Boltz. I am an attorney and the managing attorney of the law firm Boltz Legal in Oviedo, Florida. And I'm also the host of the Miss Biz podcast, along with Rachel. And I am a mother, and I have 3 children, ages 12, 13, and 4. And I also am married, and my husband is Rachel's brother, Richard. And that's why we have the same last name.
Yes, we have to clarify that. Brooke and I have never been married before.
You sure?
100%.
100%.
Absolutely. Well, my name is Rachel Boltz. I'm the owner of Boltz Media, and we're a full-service digital marketing company. I'm also the co-host of the Miss Biz podcast. I have 2 girls, and I am completely 100% single and ready to mingle.
Oh, now that's cute. Because see, one thing I didn't mention in my, my demeanor here, telling everybody, because it doesn't matter what show. Hey, Coach K, thanks for joining us. It never fails. Whatever show we're having, I always, especially when they're beautiful young ladies like you, they always say, "Are they married? What do their husbands look like? Are they sure that they're single?" I always get that, but they never come on the screen and say it. They'll send me an IM or a DM and say, "Is she single?" So now, y'all, she's put it out there. Now, keep in mind now that Brooke is a lawyer. So if you don't treat Rachel right, she's got an attorney already on hand, but she also has a bodyguard in me. So
if you want to know the characteristics Rachel is looking for, you can reach out to me, because I can be the gatekeeper.
See, I mentioned it because I knew Brooke was already going to do this.
Yeah, I'm always on the lookout for her, but I have not succeeded yet. Rachel is pretty selective for good reason.
Well, that's good. So does that mean that you're going to help me look too?
Absolutely.
For sure. Send me your list.
I got
you. List of what you're looking for.
Yeah, I got an extensive one. I'm gonna have to do a prenup.
Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Be picky.
Be picky. We are picky. So guys, go out there and make sure that you like, share, and care with us on tonight, because we're going to get into some great conversation with these ladies. So the first thing is, if you guys can see this going across the screen, this is your contact information on how to reach these amazing women. And we will pop it up again so that you get a clear view of it, and we'll give you some minutes to actually write the information down. I am super excited because I went there and checked out you guys' website. Oh my God, it was amazing. I loved it. So we got that information out there too. So I want to just kind of tap into a couple of main things. And because I was speaking to some good friends, and I said, in business in general, social media, whatever the platform may be, one thing that I'm big on, and I know you girls are too, is having that spiritual awareness as we're in businesses. It doesn't matter what type of business. If God ain't in it, it ain't gonna win. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel, y'all. Because God gives us direction. I believe God has appointed all of us a certain platform to do, not only be praise and worshipers in our churches, but to be praise and worshipers in our businesses and be able to share, what we do. We have fun. You guys, y'all can see they're beautiful. Hey, look, they can be supermodels, and guess what? And they can still turn around and laugh and joke, but they can still talk about God and how God has empowered them. So one of the questions I want to ask you tonight, and I hope we can tap into it, because we got a lot of people that's starting to tune in. One of the things I want to ask you girls, what makes you release your spiritual awareness in your businesses? Because sometimes church and state, lawyer Brooke, people always say you got to keep it separated. So how does it feel just when you can release that your Christian walk is in this? Because I know as we get in further in the conversation, everything that we have communicated with, you always make sure that we include God. There's, I'm praying for you or certain things of that nature. How does that really impact your businesses, having a spiritual awareness?
I think for me, being the business owner certainly makes it easier. In the past, when I was an employee of another business, I kind of felt like it was their territory and I needed to respect their rules and their expectations. And even though they didn't necessarily have rules, I just kind of felt like I needed to separate those things in my life and not really bring my faith into the workplace. And when I started my own business, I committed that this is my business. So I can create the culture. I can I should feel comfortable to be who I am in my own business. And so I did certain things, like I put a scripture on the conference room wall in our office. I put the same scripture on my website. And I did those things to be a reminder to myself as well that that I am a Christian and everything I do comes from my Christian values. And sometimes there is a judgment that comes with that. And in some ways, I've had people who've said, "Oh, I didn't like this decision you made or whatever. And I thought you were a Christian," or something like that. Like, had people kind of try to turn it against me. And at the end of the day, I answer to God. And if I feel that I am being true to who he's called me to be, then I feel at peace.
Right. How about you, Rachel?
Well, I feel like there's definitely a lot more freedom once you own your own business to stand firm in your faith. So prior to, opening my own firm, I used to be a teacher, and they would tell us that, you can't talk about religion and you can't talk about politics. And I still talked about religion and politics. But I was a lot more careful about doing so. Now, as a business owner, I can affirm my faith. When I'm even talking to new clients, I will talk about my faith. I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ. And how it kind of goes through my work is I try to treat all of my clients the way that I feel, that with love, with pure agape love. Even if they're not very kind to me, I still try to respond with grace and love. The other thing that I feel like as a business owner, I have a little bit more liberty is if I'm not in agreement with someone's values, I can turn that client down. And there was one client specifically, or a potential client, I should say, that, basically told me in littler words that they were, scamming people. Not really scamming people, but getting the most out of what they could. And it just didn't seem very integritous. And I had that gut feeling. And I was like, I don't want my business to be a representation of that, nor do I want my walk with God to reflect that either.
Right. Because, it's, a lot of times, and to those of you that are watching tonight, please, chime in with us, leave your comments and we will make sure that the young ladies see them. But, because I think a lot of times, when, like you said, when we're our own business owners, we can choose to say and do things a little bit differently, and we can express our feelings a lot more, openly within the specific guidelines, if you will. But at the same token, for me, it's like, having that spiritual boundary around me keeps me focused, that I'm not gonna, if I go outside of the walls, if you will, it's got to be by accident, first of all, and then secondly, it's got to be, I have to keep myself in tune to what God has planted in us to do. It's like, as Rachel and I were talking before the show got started, it was by, I feel like it was a divine connection for me to meet you guys. And how I met you was through, shout out to my good friend Jamila Rouse out there. It was through a divine connection with her that I was able to meet you all. And and I'm getting my arms is getting the chills. So I know I'm on point. But from the very moment that I stepped into the Zoom room with you guys, the first thing that I picked up was that you were genuine. That everything, you didn't put on fakeness, you didn't put on any of that. You stated while we're in the group, you stated, and I think even at the beginning, something you all said was, very spiritual. And I was like, wait a minute now. Are they really like that? And then just to be able to experience, because what you guys are seeing right now is like I said, phenomenal business women, but what you also are seeing, what I see all the time. They are like this all the time. They're very supportive, but they also do it with the love of God. I have had some moments in my life since I met them, and they are quick to say, girl, we're praying for you. Let me pray with you. And then we get back to business. Rachel was having, and I can say this because, Rachel was having a session with me one day. We were talking about some things. I needed some clarity. And she started off and said, well, can we pray first? And I was like, wow, she really does do this thing. She really is about that kind of thing, because sometimes people, when they're in front of folks, they can be one way, but then behind the scenes, they're not. And then Brooke, same way, well, let's pray about that, and I'm like, this is why when you have divine connections with people, it works better. And when you're able to call the shots in your businesses, when you're able to speak what God has given you to do, God will make sure that everything that you do lines up to what his purpose is for our life. And I got to say to you girls, I commend you on standing your ground, but being the most fabulous, fun bunch of people I've ever met. I mean, just laughing, cut up. Look, y'all, if y'all have not checked out anything else, I'm gonna need y'all to start checking out their TikTok. Make sure you go out there and see. They have me cracking up, laughing, flipping corners. They turning up, y'all. Look, y'all young folks, y'all be talking about turn up. Let me tell you, these little girls right here, they be turned up. They're cartwheels and all kinds of stuff, just make. And I'm just like, wait a minute. But it all jives into what they're talking about. And it all makes sense to who they are. And your personalities just come right out with everything that you do. And I am so honored that I can say you're not just my collaborators, but you're my divine sisters as well. And so I guess I don't mind sharing you with the world. I keep teasing. I keep telling them that I didn't want to share them with y'all. Okay, I'm just being honest. I didn't. But I did. I've crossed over in 24. I've let you in. So let's get into a little bit of a conversation. And I'm going to take a quick break just to show some folks some things that's attached to Victoria Elevates. But when we come back from that quick break, I want you to tell the people how you two beautiful sister-in-laws got into the Ms. Biz. So if y'all just give us a few seconds, I want them to get a glass of water. Y'all get a glass of water. This also gives you an opportunity to reach out to people and say, you need to watch Uncensored Conversation. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. To dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. And we are back with the phenomenal Rachel and Brook Boltz, the ladies of Miss Biz Nation. They are the super phenomenal queens of getting us all set up with all these things that we need to know about business. So tell the people what Miss Biz is and how you guys thought of this amazing idea.
Well, it was all Brooke's idea.
Brooke's fault.
So, Miss Biz is a podcast. It is about extreme marketing and building your business. And our motto is born to stand out. So, we have learned as business owners that to succeed, you have to differentiate yourself from the others in the competitive market. For me, as a law firm, personal injury law is the most advertised business that exists. You can't drive 5 miles without passing 10 personal injury lawyer billboards. So when I started my business and it was just me and I had a very tiny, minuscule budget, I had to find a way to be noticed and to stand out and to get clients. And so I started trying to come up with ways to differentiate myself. And over the course of time, my business grew. And as you said, Victoria, is blessed by the Lord tremendously, more than I ever expected to be. And as I continued along that path, I developed a passion for helping other business owners, just particularly Christian women business owners. Someone told me once that when there's another woman in the room who's starting their business, I light up, and it's almost like it's my business that I just like jump right in and start giving them ideas and brainstorming, and it's just a real passion of mine. But at the same time, I was also looking to grow my own business, and I started to become a believer in podcasting to do that. I listened to a podcast of Stephanie Gass, online marketing for Christian businesswomen, and she talked about how effective podcasting is, and that on social media, which I spend a lot of time marketing on social media, but only a very small percentage of your followers actually see your content on a regular basis. So here I am putting all this time and effort into social media, which has value for sure, but it's only reaching 5 to 10% of my followers. Whereas on a podcast, people they start to know that your content's coming out every week, and they get notifications if they subscribe to your show. So 100% of your followers are able to see your content each week. You're not reliant on a platform to notify them. So that was one thing that attracted me to podcasts. Also, I had a business coach at the time who told me I needed to be doing more social media videos. And the quantity of videos he was telling me I needed to do seemed impossible. And so I thought, well, if we did a podcast and we record it on video, then we can make clips from that podcast and kill two birds with one stone. We're putting out a podcast, but we're also putting out video content for social media. And so it kind of was another avenue with which to get video content out on social media, but also reach a new audience through the podcast and really talk about something that I was passionate about, building business, and something that was more interesting to a broader demographic of people than just legal content. You know, there's not many people who want to sit and hear about the law on a regular basis, but businesses and business growth was something that I was hoping would be a more interesting topic to a broader range of people.
Right. Wow. So you come up with this amazing idea, and then you say, "Hey, sister-in-law, come on over here." How did that? I mean, I can tell you two are like peas in a pod. I get that part. But, sometimes when you're dealing with family, sometimes it's hard to, for them to see the vision like you see it, or even want to participate in it. So, Rachel, what made you say, "Okay, Brooke, let me in on this. Let's do this thing"?
Well, my passion is, has, and will always be helping others. And when I was a teacher, I used to teach blind and visually impaired students how to run and operate their own business in food service. I also am a business major. So when Brooke had asked me if I wanted to be in a podcast with her, I thought this sounds like my jam. This sounds like something I would absolutely love to do because I can reach a broader audience to help them in a much larger capacity than, what I'm able to do just here in Central Florida. So when she asked me, I said yes. And it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. Honestly,
Wow.
we have such a good time filming. Brooke and I, we are sister-in-law, but we actually like each other, which is a rarity when it comes to sister-in-laws and family, but we actually really like each other and we get along really well. And when we are filming together and we're coming up with our ideas, we just jive off of each other. We feed off of each other and build upon the content to make something that is inclusive and strategic and hopefully very rewarding for others as well.
Well, I can tell you guys, if you're just now tuning in, look, I'm going to put their information up because of course we got the banner going through, but I want you guys to actually tap into their podcast and to reach out to them through their website and email. But I'm telling you, you will not on social media. I mean, everybody loving TikTok. But I want you to go out there and see them. They are doing some amazing. They play guitar. I had a couple of people when I put the post up that you guys were going to be on the show. They were like, "Okay, so are they comedians or something?" No. What do you mean? First of all, they're my sisters. What you talking about comedians? But I'm trying to get into what you're saying with that, with the and I said, look, I'm gonna tell you what you need to do. Just go out there and watch one podcast. I guarantee you're gonna hear them singing. You're gonna hear them giving their jingle. You're gonna look. You cannot go wrong with listening to these amazing ladies because they love what they do. Right. And I'm a firm believer the only way that some things happen is that you got to have a true love for what you do and to show other people how to do it. And you girls, and I said, call them girls, y'all, because y'all can tell they're younger than me, right? So I'm gonna call them girls. But they are the way that you do it is phenomenal to me. It's like you pick a topic and you girls dive deep into it. And you rip out the pieces that some of us that are trying to vamp or revamp, and you rip certain pieces out that we can understand it. It's sort of like you're teaching the Bible to your child. You guys break it down so simplistic that it makes it more reachable, tangible. When I hear you girls talking on some of the podcasts, I'll be like, well, that makes sense. And then y'all dancing and singing and crying. And I'm like, oh, yes, it's time for the Miss Biz show. That's what y'all give. And then we thank God and we love God and we praise God. And all of that just taps in. And what I see, even as you're sitting here tonight, what I'm seeing is you're giving out inspiration. There's somebody sitting out there tonight. And if you're sitting out there, here are prime examples that you can do anything that you want to do once you put your mind to it, right? You have a beautiful media specialist and a beautiful lawyer, and they come together to do it, to impact people's lives on different levels. And they're giving back to what's going to empower us. Us women, we need it. People say all the time, girls, that when you put women together, that is the clawing. But when we together, it's like, come on, baby, let's get a hug in, because that's what this is about. So you girls, come on. You've got the podcast. Now I'm gonna let y'all know. I'll let y'all tell them about our secret group. Only if you want to, because we got a secret group, y'all, that y'all can tell about. But when I came into the secret group, I was expecting like da 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 da, and you guys were like, okay, we're in this together. Let's talk about what your wins are, and let's talk about what do you need help with. And I was like, wait a minute, they what? So what makes? I mean, I know you guys want to give back, but what made you decide to do the group and invite people into the group? What started
So
that?
I don't remember which of us had the idea, but I think that it came about because we had been doing the podcast for a while and we wanted to kind of build a relationship and get to know some of our listeners. And when you're doing a podcast, you're kind of sitting in a room just talking to a microphone, looking at a screen, and there's no real relationship being built there. And you are hopeful that people are going to listen to the podcast at some point and find value in it, but it's not that direct connection face to face, and you don't have the other side talking back to you on what their needs are. So we decided to start a weekly Zoom call. We call it Miss Biz Connects, and we do it on Fridays at 10 a.m. And she's calling it a secret group, but it's really open to anybody. It's really
It's
open
my
to anyone.
secret.
It's her secret because
It was my
it's her secret. But we advertise it or mention it on our podcast each week that it exists, and we encourage people to come who are our listeners, because it's really just 1 hour a week that we dedicate to hearing where you're at in your business and what your needs are, and we kind of brainstorm together. There's a number of members who come regularly, and then we have new people visiting each week, and it's just a brainstorm session really where everybody shares what is top of mind in their business, and we all go to work just trying to help them come up with ideas. And we've had some amazing results during those meetings where people leave feeling like they have a new direction.
Yep. That is for sure. Yes, I say it's a secret, y'all, because it's my secret, because I was kind of be selfish. I can be honest, I was trying to be selfish. But I told Rachel earlier, I knew that God had brought me into the group for a reason. And I knew that the things that I was battling with in my business, and y'all that know me or they're watching me, you're going to see some other things that I have learned from these amazing women that I am implementing. I can't tell them all my secrets, but I'm implementing some things that we have talked about in the group. But when I tell you, I really didn't want to share you because I was learning so much. I was just learning so much that I just wanted to keep it to myself. I wanted to be the sponge and get it all. But now I can squeeze out a little bit and share it with the world, because that is what we're supposed to do as God's creatures. We're supposed to learn things and be willing to share it with other people so that they can grow. Because my theory is, as an eagle soars, it soars, but it doesn't leave anybody behind. It brings somebody with them. So you girls are soaring, and you took me on your wings, and I am appreciative to you, what you do. And some of our the regulars that's in the group, I love it when I'm feeling bad. When I'm feeling bad, I can go in the group and our friend would tell a joke. Y'all know. I can't say his name because but he tells a joke, and I'd be like, well, shoot, I was depressed, but I came in here and I'm feeling better. And that's the thing. It's not like you guys are suffocating us with being individuals, because sometimes you join these different groups and you feel suffocated, you feel intimidated. But with you girls, it's like we're one big happy family, and like you said, we're brainstorming in these meetings. We're seeing people do some things. I sing the praises as much as I can about what you've done for me, but you girls are doing something that typically would cost people money.
Yeah.
Some of these groups charge you for getting this information, but you girls are like, and don't get me wrong, that don't mean that y'all can't get a consultation, because every conversation is a consultation, and you will need to pay for their services. But there's the things that you do on the podcast, the things that you do in the group. These are things that some people charge big dollars for, big dollars. And you girls are like, hey, well, let me ask you this, and let me ask you this, and let me ask you this. And you're just like, da, da, da. They're like a waterfall, y'all. And they just pour it out, just a pouring out. So let me ask you this. I know, and I'm saying all that because there's some tidbits on your website. Guys, if you haven't been to that website, check it out. It's going across the screen right now. You have even collected resources that people can tap in on your website and listen through even on your podcast that they don't have to pay a dime for.
Yes, absolutely.
And tell us about it. Tell us why you want to do that. Why you want to give away all this great stuff for free?
Well, I think Brooke and I both know what it's like to first start your business. When you first start your business, you have so many questions. And a lot of times you don't have the money coming in to be able to pay for all of these coaching classes or pay for all of these additional resources that you need to learn. So we really wanted to create an environment where we could give people tools to put in their toolbox, so at least that they can get started. We have a small business checklist. We have a free content calendar. We have a bunch of different freebies that we offer because we understand what it's like to be in those shoes. And a lot of times it's not all about money. Now, don't get me wrong, like everybody needs money to be able to survive and feed their families, but you know, it's all about building each other up and helping each other grow.
And it's about, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Brooke.
Someone asked, this is just kind of along the same line. Someone asked me recently, they said, aren't you afraid that if you're putting out all of your secrets that someone's going to take them and copy you? And I said, I'm not really afraid of that, honestly, because the thing is everybody is unique. And I, in my marketing and in my podcast, I'm doing the things that are unique to me. And if someone, there's not going to be any other human, because God has made us all unique, who's going to be able to do me exactly like me. They may do something similar in their own style, but it's never going to be exactly like me because they have their own unique personalities. So I really put out there my best ideas, and if someone steals it, well, have at it, because there's because I'm always coming up with new ideas, and I feel like I give the most value to the listeners if I'm telling them my best ideas, because that's where they can get their best ideas. Maybe they can tweak it a little bit and do something great with it. So we give an hour of our week for free on the Miss Biz Connects, because we just want to connect with our listeners. Like, we legitimately just want to build relationship. There's no other reason. And that is a sacrifice for both of us, because we have busy schedules and a lot going on, multiple businesses for both of us. So but we really want to connect with our listeners and help people in a direct way, not just the indirect of talking into the microphone for the podcast. And we put our best ideas out there. In fact, we sit and brainstorm and spend a lot of time preparing for each episode, thinking of, we want to give something. We ask ourselves, what is that piece of information they've never heard before? Because we don't want you to just be hearing the same thing over and over that you've already heard that really doesn't add value.
Right. And the thing is, you guys are truly, like you say, that takes it, people who don't realize what it takes to do podcasting and do classes and all of the things that we do in addition to our other life. You girls have other outside businesses that you operate. You also have your families, your beautiful children. You have their events that you've got to attend to. That life in general is still available. And I think a lot of times people don't realize when you are a person who freely gives, even if it is an hour, even if it is 20, 30 minutes, the time that you are giving towards people to understand these are some basic tools of the trade. Like you said, you don't give away everything, but you give away the most, because there are certain things that I can remember when I first came into the group. And I think I was quiet the first couple of times. I don't know if I was or not, because I can't remember. But I think I was quiet at least one of the times. But I can remember just listening to you. And when you started talking about the free checklist, and I'm like, dang, I wish somebody had gave me a checklist before I got started. I mean, it would have just cleared up so much of this shenanigans that I had to go through all this time just to realize if there was a checklist, if there was something that someone had already experienced and was willing to share with me, how much better would not only my business be, but it's a good way of saying thank you to you girls for being willing to share it. Everybody should look at when we share information, we're helping on so many other levels. We're helping as a Christian, looking after our brother's needs, but we're also looking at this is marketing. I'm going to use them, Rachel's the expert in this stuff, but you are doing some marketing. Like tonight, we'll market. I love having people on the show that have businesses because I can market you in a different way. Can't get you 400 clients, not yet anyway, but can't get you 400 clients. But what I can do is share you with 400 other viewers out there who need your services that can come to you. So what does that say about me, though? That says that I'm a collaborator that likes to work with other people on an even keel. You know this thing, you knew that thing, and I know my thing. But when we put our things together, we're one big happy family. And that's what the body of Christ really is. We're two different arms and legs and feet and head and all of that. But when we get together, we make one big happy body of family. And that's what you girls continue to represent for me. You are people that don't mind sharing the basics, even saying, hey, Vic, did you think it was Brooke? Vic, did you think that you should do such and such? And that was in a group session. I'm like, wait a minute. What's she talking about? And then Rachel gonna chime in and say, did you think about maybe you should condense this, Victoria? And I'm thinking, nobody ever told me that. You mean I've been doing this and the whole time I should have been condensing these ideas? But having fresh eyes and ears from people that really want to see people win is a plus. And that's what you girls mean to me. You're winners on every other level because you want to see other people win as well. And I, again, appreciate you. Guys, go out there. You can join the group. I mean, gee Louise, you can join us and be with us on Fridays at 10 o'clock. He'll let you in. But it's great to have your type of freedom because you guys don't make us not talk. Y'all encourage us to talk and we share. And that's great. That's great for all of us that's in the group. And I'm sure all of the group that's listening tonight, they can say the same thing. You guys, you build families and you don't even realize it. One of our, members, she and I started she's a fellow coach and me and her just started, texting each other. And it's like, she'll send me I missed you on Friday. Where were you? And how you doing? And it'd be out of the blue. So you're creating other families. And so I speak blessings and favor for you guys to continue doing what you're doing because it's only going to get bigger than this. It's bigger than this. So let me ask you, what makes you do the funny stuff, the costumes, the guitar, the jingles? I know it's a part of, boosting, shining in a different area and a different light in the, people's views. But what made y'all pick the things that you choose? What's behind that?
You want to answer that one?
Yeah. Well, they say that even bad publicity is good publicity, right? And really, if you want to be differentiated, you have to be willing to take a risk. If you do everything the same way that everybody else is doing, you're just going to blend in. So Brooke and I, we got to a point where we really wanted to be able to take those risks and be able to be us, regardless of what other people may or may not think. We are just being us. We're being genuine. We're goofy. And we want to let others know that that's okay to be that way. In fact, it's a good thing to be yourself.
Yeah, and specifically the jingles, I don't even know. We're just sitting there like, you know what? It'd be funny to write a jingle. And so I go grab the guitar, and I think that my guitar just happened to be at the podcast studio for some other reason. And so I pulled it out and we just start strumming along and coming up with some lyrics. And once we did it one time, we started creating jingles for all of our segments. And now we've even taken a step further and written jingles about some of our guests, and we're the jingle queens, I guess, is what we're.
I love it. I love it.
But it just, I don't know sometimes how we come up with some of these ideas. I'll say Rachel's the one who's like, wrap this thing around your head and walk down the hallway while I video it. And sometimes I'm like, what? Wait, what? I'm doing a headstand? Okay.
I love
it. We push each other sometimes to get outside of our comfort zone. Because again, especially in the world of social media, you got to be a scroll stopper if you want people to see your content. And sometimes just standing there talking into the microphone doesn't do that. So we try to do things sometimes that get attention to just hopefully draw people in to listen to the more important content.
Even letting Rachel push you in your chair as you announcing the websites out there. I was like, oh my God, she's gonna get it. She's gonna get a call. And you just fly. And I'm like, okay, there you go. She's okay. And and like Coach K said, what a fresh wind it is to have you girls. And people don't realize how important. I want to put her message back up there again, because you being, and I can say this, some of us didn't like the idea of getting on social media. I know I did not. I still have my moments like, ugh, I got to get on social media. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. This is the perfect opportunity to be who I want to be. And I don't have to answer to anybody. And I can still get my point across, and I can still do what I need to do and still be happy doing it. And then when you add in things like you girls are doing, the skits, the singing, the jingles, all of the things that you guys are doing, that's giving the competition. I'm going, wait a minute, that's not a bad idea. But but in the same token, people that are looking, because I truly believe whoever God has designed for us to help, if you will, they will be drawn to us because of what you do, right? If they see you being that, and I'm going to pick on Brooke, the lawyer. If they see you being that stiff-necked, today we're going to the courtroom and we're going to hit the gavel. I don't know if I could be close to you on that level. I need somebody who's lively. If I'm going to go and spend 20 years in jail, I want to know that I had the best lawyer taking me there. I know that somebody goes, what? But seriously, somebody who I can relate to and be, have fun with, and still have, when you need to draw me back in. Because even, as a personal development coach, that's one of the things that we be talking about in our classroom, is that how sometimes when we're not being true to who we are, then we're giving out that imposter syndrome. We're making people think one thing, but behind the scenes, because we can all have something going on. That's Rachel and I were talking about that earlier. You can be behind the scenes having a bad day, But when you're living your purpose, when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and you're enjoying it, it makes it, the people that's connected to you, the people that are looking for you will find you. You know, it's like you guys are just, I'm gonna have to delete this video because I don't want people to see. No, I'm just I'm just joking. But I'm joking. I really am joking. But when I see you guys, y'all make me have so much energy. And I'm just like, if she can roll down the hall in a chair with her sister pushing her, and she's excited about what? Her website and or if you're doing back stands and wheelies and stuff. And I mean, it's a big difference from seeing the stick in the muds. You know, I gotta say this. I was working with a lady one time when I first started my business, and I was working with this lady, and she kept saying, "Your colors are wrong. Your colors are wrong." And I'm like, "No, that ain't. That's my colors." You know, that's I know there's a mean to your madness, but that's my color. But when I talk to you girls, y'all listen to who I am and what I want to give. And you throw out genuine ideas that fits my personality, but you do it with your personality. And y'all so neat. Y'all are really some neat people. You know what I mean? Y'all, I don't know if I don't know what else I can do to say. I am so glad that God created you to be who you are.
We're grateful for you too. You know, I was telling Coach Victoria earlier, I said, there's certain people that you just click with and that you can just feel the Holy Spirit's presence. And as soon as I met Coach Victoria, I felt that with you. So we're so appreciative of you as well and to be part of the family.
Yes. And I'll say we are honored to have you when you come to Miss Biz Connects as well, because your coaching services are valuable also. So for you to be sharing your advice in our brainstorm sessions with the other members, I know that all of us there have benefited from the advice that you've given us in those meetings. So we appreciate you also.
Don't make me cry now. Y'all know I got an ugly cry. Don't y'all do that. Y'all. But see, do y'all see what I mean? And this is what they do for everybody. It's not just just because they're here with me tonight, but they encourage every person that's on the call, and they encourage and say, "I'm glad you're here today. I'm glad you're here today. I'm glad you're here today. Oh, thank you for that advice." And this is what y'all. They're not just doing this right now. This is what they do every time you meet them. I can't wait to meet them in person. Yeah, I know. I've had the question. Well, how long have you known them? None of your business. But I've known them long enough. I love them. They just they're my friends, y'all. They're just amazing women. Now I know we're getting close to because you girls have got busy schedules. So if you want to give one business tip tonight to somebody who has either thought about starting a business or is in business, but they're not feeling good, or somebody who's good, but they just need a little push. What would you say to them tonight?
For me, I would say figure out first who you are. And then once you know that, magnify it times 10. So that's how you stand out. You be true to who you are, but you just become a more extreme version of yourself to get noticed. So the things that you see us do, sing and dance and all those things, that's who we are. We don't do that all the time, but that's us in our hype mode. That's who we are when we're magnifying our personalities. And so when I meet people and they're trying to stand out and try to differentiate themselves, first got to figure out who you are and then go extra of yourself.
Wow, go extra.
Yeah. And for me, what I would say, I would agree with what Brooke said, but I would also say pray about it. give it to God and ask God to lead and guide you. And then once you start feeling or, getting different signs, ask God for confirmation. God, is this really where you want me to be right now? Is this really what you want me to focus on? Please give me a sign, because God will give you a sign. It might not be in your time, but it will be in his time. And also be prepared that the sign that he may give you may not be the sign that you want to see, but be open to it and let God take the wheel, because God's plans for you are way greater than any type of plan that you could ever put together for yourself.
Oh, now, see, that's some good nuggets right there. Y'all throwing them out there. So let me ask you a question. What would you say? Because I'm going to piggyback off of what you just said, Rachel, but you two together. What would you say to someone who they have done everything that they know to do? They've gone beyond. They took it from you girls and decided to do cartwheels on the side of the street. They're singing in a bar, talking about they've done everything that they can do about their business, right? But it just isn't going. What would you say to someone who needs to go back and relook at their vision in their dream? Because for me, it was I sometimes I have other things that I do or can do, and I started just doing everything until somebody named Rachel said, maybe you just could focus on one thing. And then Brooke said, find this out first. I'm like, but you don't know me. But what would you say to somebody who they just need to stop and rethink the whole, because sometimes our vision, our hearing from God can be cloudy, right? Like you have so many voices and you've reading so much material and you're trying all kinds of techniques. But what would you say to somebody who really give them some signs that they need to just stop and revisit in general? How would you direct them in that?
Do you want to go ahead, Brooke?
Yeah. So the thing that came to mind, I mean, sometimes there may not be an audience for what your gift is or what you're selling. It just, or you may not have the tools, because a lot of times to get to the place you want to be, you have to have a marketing plan in place. And if you don't have the money, if you don't have the skill set to market yourself, to make videos and to do these things yourself, and then you don't have the money to hire someone else to do it for you, then your word isn't getting out there. But also, I think if you're not being successful, the first thing you should do is be introspective and look at the fruit in your own life. I've seen people who have the right sales personality. They are going to the same business networking meetings that I go to and that I recommend for people. They are going to lunches and happy hours and events several times a week, and they're just not seeing success. And when I've spent time looking and thinking about it, it comes down to, number one, they don't give off the impression that they care about the person genuinely. And number two, the fruit in their life isn't showing to be a trustworthy person. They might be saying the things that make them appear like they're saying the right sales pitch, but when you're looking at, do they show up on time? Are they here for the meetings? Do they return my phone calls promptly? Do they respond to my emails promptly? When they're looking at these other indicators in their life, are they talking bad about their neighbor? Are they, just looking at the other fruit in their life? If they're not seeing a complete picture of someone who they can trust with their referrals and trust with their business, then the business isn't going to come. And they can do all the right things. But if their own fruit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control are not being outwardly seen in everything they say and do, then people aren't going to be drawn to them.
Right. Rachel?
Well, Brooke is right on the money in that you definitely have to have the mindset where you have like that giver's gain philosophy where, you really care about the other person more than yourself. You care about their success more than you care about theirs or yours. But in the same respect, there could be those people who really do have that philosophy, who really do care a lot, but they don't know how to get themselves out there. So what I would recommend is really focus on why you do what you do, what value you provide, because so many people focus on what they do and not why they do what
Come
they
on,
do.
that's true.
But figure out why you do what you do and come up with a strategy. You may not be able to, if you have so many gifts and talents, you might not be able to do everything at once. So take one or two of those things that you offer and really focus your time, effort, and energy on those things, and you can do it by, what is the most common service that, people are looking for, or you can do what is my most profitable service that I provide and focus on those things so that you can grow. And then as you grow, you can build upon that and expand.
See, y'all, this is why y'all need to watch the Miss Biz podcast. And if you must, you can join the group that meets on Fridays at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I can't believe I'm saying this. I can't believe it. But you can join us. But if you really want to get even more in depth with these young ladies, go out to their website and book a session, because the conversation that we're having tonight leads to a consultation. And you may just need to go a step further with these young ladies to get more of what you're looking for. Oh, that sounds good. More of what you're looking for. More of what you're looking for.
Nice
I'm going to use that.
You got your first jingle.
Oh, man. Oh, wow. I needed somebody to play the guitar, though. I mean, more of what you're looking for. Okay, I'll get with you on that. I'll get you on that so y'all can help me out. But what you're giving tonight has been amazing. And these nuggets right here, guys, I encourage you all to go out to their website, go out to their pages, go out to their social media pages, go ahead and subscribe to them, book some time with them, listen to what they have to say, listen to their journeys, and go forward. Go with what you can hear from the expertise of Miss Rachel and Brook Boltz. They are phenomenal women of God that not only are amazing, but they care about you, and you out there. And I am so honored that you guys have been on the show tonight. I said this in 23 that I was going to bring some of our Biz family on, but it wouldn't have been right if I didn't bring the Queen Biz first to bring us in on tonight. And I am super excited to what more things are getting ready to happen with you girls. Because of your willingness to help other people, I can only see bigger and brighter things happening for you, and the stretching of what your spiritual belief is, your dedication to God is going to bring to even your businesses even the more. Look, guys, there's about 25,000 other people out there that need to be reaching out to you, and I'm going to make sure that I push the Miss Biz. I'm going to push it. I promise. But now I'm telling you, this is not going to be your last time on the show. We're going to bring you guys back. Guys, there's so many things that are happening in the world. And it's when you have the opportunity to meet two phenomenal ladies like this, I tell you, it makes the world look a little bit less scary when you can see people that really trust God, but they also want to trust and help you as well. my guests, Rachel and Brook Boltz, the Miss Biz Nation Queens. They are the jingle ladies. They're the ones who can flip over chairs and all kinds of stuff and still give you some expedient business advice, as well as making you understand how important you are to us in this world. Girls, I can't say it enough. I don't want to let you go.
We'll see you Friday.
Don't tell anybody. Yes, ma'am, you certainly will. I will be there on Friday. Look, I took your advice. Y'all, it's their fault that I missed last Friday. They been telling me I needed to rest, and I did. I did some resting. Because that's another thing. Y'all know I talk about self-care and I talk about, getting in. But these little girls right here, they be fussing at me sometimes. So Miss Victoria, you need to get some rest. You need to get some rest. And I'm like, yeah. So I did. I overslept. It was like, oh my God, it's 10:45. I missed the show. But you will see me on Friday. That is for sure. If you guys want to join us, we can add the information to be on my page, and you can follow along and be with us. But I will have you guys back on the show. We want to do some more things with you all and have people know more about what you do, and to give them some, tidbits when you want to, because I think it's important in this season that there's a win-win attitude out there for us. So, guys, thank you so much for being with us. Guys, now look, y'all got to come back next week, and we got another new guest. I'm taking some tidbits from Miss Rachel and Miss Brooke, some things that they suggested, and I'm going to start doing it in 2024. Y'all going to start seeing some of it right here on Uncensored Conversation. And next week is one of the first. And one of my guests is coming back next week. She's a young lady who is very influential in her expertise and knowledge in nonprofit organizations. She helps people develop their 501(c)(3)s, and she is going to start being a regular contributor here on Uncensored Conversation. My good friend Taisha is coming back next week. Fontaz is coming back next week, and she's going to be here to talk about nonprofit businesses and what you need to know to get the job done. So, girls, y'all coming back and watch if you can. She's a phenomenal person. I might let her come and join Miss Biz, on Friday. It's just, but she is amazing. She has an expertise in 501(c)(3)s and nonprofit organizations. So she's going to be with us next week. So come on back next week right here on Uncensored Conversation at 7:00. Don't be late. Y'all know I'm a time-sensitive person. Come back. So, girls, is there anything else you would like to say before we close it out for tonight? Because I know you got them babies out there.
I just want to speak blessings on you and your business and your ministry, and just speak that 2024 is going to be a fruitful year for you. And God sees all of the hard work and all of the effort that you've been putting in. And I believe that this year is going to be a year of personal, business, and financial growth for you.
Thank you. My sister, my friend. See, you're trying to make me cry. I'm not going to do it.
It's funny that Brooke said that, because I had pulled out a Bible verse, and it's Galatians 6:9. And it says, "So let's not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessings if we don't give up." So I just want to encourage you and everyone else out there, don't give up. Submit your requests to the Lord, and at the right time, you will reap a harvest of blessing.
See?
Love you.
See? I love you too. Look, y'all. See, these my sisters. Look, y'all better stop messing with me. I thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Well, y'all know y'all coming back. So, I might have throw the mic and just say, look, I'm going out to the show for me for about a day or two. But I thank you for your words of wisdom and blessings. And y'all already know. Yeah, I'm not going to talk to them. I'm going to get teary-eyed. But thank you again for coming. Thank you all out there for watching. I'm going to encourage you to share this with people out there so they can get in touch with these beautiful ladies, even the one that's single, y'all. Yeah. The one's single, you got to make sure that you talk to her, the attorney, about her, what she wants, though. So,
Right.
girls, have a great rest of your evening. I look forward to seeing you guys on Friday. We will be in tune, in touch, and keep doing what we do best. And I love you to the utmost. To all of you out there, it's time for you to get empowered, embraced, and educated to be elevated and not tolerated. And we'll see you next week right here